This is an ISO accredited lab, so it is the exact same standards, procedures and protocol as the Galway labs. The two of them are identical. So what happens on a weekly basis is the producers send us in their samples, and between 1 and 3 days we must have the samples analysed and the results available on the internet for everybody to use. When we analyse them under the microscope, we are looking for a minimum of 80 toxin species, but we must record every species that are present and count the number of toxic cells that are in each species. Once we have those, then we put it up on the internet. What we also do on the for each of the sites, what we also do is produce every week a bulletin, which is like a newsletter, which combines additional information that we have throughout the Marine Institute, including satellite information, oceanographic information, weather, tides. We put all these temperatures, we put all these together, and we give people a potential prediction of where the toxins could move, because toxins don't have borders. So if we have a problem in this bay and the weather pattern is bringing it up to the next bay, it gives them a week or two's warning where it's coming from. And then part of that then is another project we're involved in at the moment is Primrose, where we are working with many other Atlantic European countries who also produce information. So we want to see, can we use this to create information from one country to the next? So we have many European partners in that project Primrose that we're working with. So these are the normal microscopes that we use for this particular analysis. At the moment I have under it, if anybody wants to have a look, a current toxin that's coming in is spring toxin, ASP. So Pseudonychia is the particular species that causes that problem. That's routine. It just feeds the fish. It comes in for a couple of weeks. It may reach levels that will close or it may not. And then this is a typical spring bloom. Which month?
Of the year. You have
for this
algae.
one? Oh, we have
algae bloom.
We have algae blooms potentially every month of the year.
Every month.
Every month. Different species every month. So this would be a spring bloom or a spring. There's a difference between toxins and blooms. Blooms literally means numbers. And these toxins can be much less numbers and still cause a problem. So this would be typical spring. So maybe from March through to May. And then summertime, June through to September, we would have dinophysis problems. And then October to our alert level for dinophysis problems. We may not get a problem that year, but that would be the season. So every season we have a potential problem.
This is our major problem too.
Yeah.
The dinoflagellates.
Yes, yes. The dinoflagellates.
Spring.
Yeah.
In Mediterranean.
Yeah. Everybody has a season for a problem. But we have problems all year round. But yeah, like at the moment, this is not causing us a problem because we have very good levels of non-toxic species in the background to balance it. When they drop out, the problem would become more exaggerated. But it doesn't last forever. In some historical bad years, we have had high levels of toxin, no good food to depurate, and so there is no more toxin in the water, but the flesh remains toxic over winter. That is difficult for the producers. But in the last few years have been okay, absolutely.
Do you monitor only toxic species or
No.
the productivity of the...
We also have sentinel sites where we count everything,
everything.
all the productivity, yeah.
And what are you doing when we have problem? You close the
Yes, so
production?
the flesh, once it reaches a certain level, will be closed. Once the area is closed, we continue to sample the flesh and the water. So the water information, which is my primary concern, will give them information that it is getting better or it is not getting worse. So that it is still useful to them. They must receive 2 clear tests with flesh before they can open again. So most of the producers will continue to test until they get 2 clear. Yeah.
Have you
a daily
identified
basis.
the conditions, the environmental conditions, when toxic species grows?
Yes
Or-
and no. Our primary purpose is to monitor. But yes, we are aware that certain species like certain temperatures.
Yeah.
We are aware that certain species come in with indicator species. So you see this one, even with dinophyces, you see the less toxic species come in and then dinophyces, you know. So we do know there are patterns, and we do use those when we do our bulletin. This would be another risk factor, the fact that these common species are in, serratium is in as well. Rhodonophysis is coming next. Yeah, you know, in some, and the temperatures. Certainly for Alexandrium, which only has caused
Alexandrium.
a problem in Cork Harbour. Its levels aren't high enough anywhere else, but temperature is a big problem.
Yeah.
Once the temperature goes to a certain level, we issue a lot more warnings with that particular species there. Whereas temperature down here, you know. Our big problem here too is the Gulf Stream with coming in, we would get a shelf water coming in. So we have to watch what's happening in our water, and our temperature indicators and our buoys can warn
Gulf
us.
Stream.